Hi, I'm Nicolas, and this is my sprint review for June 10th, 2020. So this sprint, we've engaged into a lot of activities, such as GitLab CI with automated deployment. So we are now deploying uh, on the staging environment on every merge request approval. In production, um, we deploy to production with every new tag that we create. So it's really neat. It works really well. And so, as an example, here um, I actually pushed to my branch and created a merge request. It was approved and was deployed to staging. And when I created the tag 0.0.4, um, it ran the test again and deployed it to production. Very neat, very cool, very concise. We love it. Saved us a lot of time. Um, then the next thing is we added a scheduler for the messaging campaign. So now we don't have to stay up late, like 1 o'clock in the morning, to actually run those campaigns manually. So that saved us a lot of sanity and some time. So that worked fantastic. We've also worked on email import from SendGrid when we run marketing campaign for email marketing campaigns. We want to be able to import all those messages from SendGrid into our application to show the wonderful staff at Enquashi um, um, all the touch points, all the communication points uh, that we can gather or that we gather for a particular customer. We've also started doing a lot of component reuse. One of the main components that we reuse this sprint is a messaging component. We had a messaging list, um, kind of standalone next to the on the tile on the dashboard, and we were able to reuse to componentize that piece and move it under a communication tab under the user section, which basically killing two birds with one stone. When we make a change to the component, it will actually show the change in both places. It's wonderful. On the main page, the main dashboard, before each tiles were actually rendered and coded individually. So we've decided to create a tile component, and we actually loop through an array to populate this beautiful page, and it works every time. We were able to remove quite a bit of redundant code, so it makes it easier for testing. Again, it's very good house cleaning. Nothing to write home about, but it works and it makes the application feel much lighter. Um, Finally, we're engaging global professional employer organization, a PEO, to help us recruit. Well, maybe not so much recruit, but hire and um, and uh, employees all over the world. Um, will provide us with somewhat of a legal framework in each country we have an engineer or we want to have an engineer in. So stay tuned on that. We are still talking to firms, and we will see what comes out of it. I also wanted to finish the permission framework to help us manage and grow easy, more easily, but I didn't have that enough time to fully complete it. So I have somewhat of a skeleton of a role-based permission, and I'm planning on finishing um, the role-based permission library this coming sprint, because it's really blocking us from really opening up the product to a lot more people. So it's important, and it has to be done. From a perspective of the engineering dashboard, we we did a little bit less stories over the past 2 weeks. This graph is a little bit difficult because um, measuring by week, but it should by week, but and our sprint ends in midweek. But basically, we are about averaging about 20 stories per week, which is actually a fairly decent clip. Um, and that's great. From our code review, from our code coverage, it's fairly constant. We did increase a little bit from 25%, 76 to almost 27. So um, nothing to write home about, but I'll take the percentage increase in code coverage. In terms of merge requests per engineer, here we did have some merge requests in this week that went on to the current sprint. So I believe that we are averaging about 10 merge requests per engineer, which is fairly decent on every week. So it's almost like two per day. And we did see an increase in rollbar issues. Apparently, Chrome has made a change to had a version change that not broke, but that caused an exception on occasion of a sub library that we're using to generate the QR code. So sometimes we actually do see an exception being reported on rollbar. And so this is, we have a fix. We did contact the sub library code maintainer on GitHub, and he has to push the change so that we can actually pull the library directly from GitHub. And that is it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next, friends.